This is Chapter 12 of The Packet in Portland, written by Alexi Hart. Chehalem Valley Travel Plaza looked like every other place built to keep people moving. Light pooled under tall lamps. Tractor trailers lined the far lot, their cabs dark, their engines ticking as they cooled. A convenience store glowed at the center, windows full of energy drinks and fried food. The air smelled like wet asphalt, diesel, and coffee that had been warming too long. Nora arrived at 10:47 p.m. and parked where she could see both entrances without being seen easily from either. She did not go inside. First, she watched. A private security contractor moved differently than regular travelers. They stood with a purpose that didn't match the place. Their eyes didn't linger on the bright displays or the cashiers. They tracked exits. They tracked hands. They tracked people who looked lost. Nora scanned the lot in sections, letting her gaze move like someone searching for a restroom sign, not a target. A gray Honda CR-V sat near the side exit, engine off, lights dark. The plate was different, but the vehicle looked like the same rental fleet type. Clean, generic, forgettable. A second car sat farther back, a dark sedan with a driver inside. The driver's posture was too still. Nora didn't assume. She confirmed. She took out her phone and opened the Atlas Desk Facility packet. The operator's note had arrived while she drove, listing camera placement and common traffic. Cameras. Store entrance, fuel pumps, main lot light poles. Side exit, camera out of service last inspection. Alt routes. Service road behind lot. Access via chain gate, often unlatched. Note, bus stop on east edge, low lighting. Nora's attention moved to the east edge. A bench sat beneath a weak lamp, a trash can, a schedule board, the kind of bus stop that existed more as a promise than a function. A figure stood near it, hood up, arms folded, posture closed. Not waiting for a bus, waiting for a signal. Nora's pulse stayed steady, but her focus sharpened. She took out a compact pair of binoculars from her glove box and looked again. The figure shifted slightly, turning their head toward the store doors, then back toward the highway. Their movements were economical, not anxious, trained. Nora set the binoculars down and waited. At 11:02 p.m., the store doors opened and a man walked out, carrying a paper cup. He moved toward the bus stop, not hurried, not casual either. He stopped near the hooded figure and spoke. The hooded figure did not move closer. They stayed angled away, as if they wanted to appear alone. The man with the cup nodded once and walked back toward the store. A minute later, the hooded figure stepped off the curb and walked toward the gray CR-V at the side exit. Nora exhaled slowly. The move was beginning, early. She did not rush out to intercept. Interception was a fight. Nora preferred extraction. She turned her car on, waited for the engine to settle, and then pulled forward, joining the flow of vehicles that circled the lot. She kept her speed slow, her head movements minimal, her presence forgettable. As she passed the gray CR-V, she saw the passenger door open briefly. Someone climbed in. The movement was small. A person hunched, guided by a hand at their elbow. No struggle, no stumble. Not a confident entry. Nora's eyes caught a glimpse of a face under the hood. Late 20s, tired eyes, a practiced smile that wasn't smiling now. The witness. Nora didn't feel triumph. She felt a hard clarity. The witness was alive. The witness was not free. Nora continued driving, looping past the store, then toward the fuel pumps, then back again. She needed two things before she acted. A second vehicle. An exit plan. At 11:11 p.m., The dark sedan in the back lot pulled forward and parked 3 spaces behind the CRV. The driver remained inside. Overwatch. At 11:16 p.m., a third person emerged from the store and walked toward the CRV. He carried a bag, probably food, a prop to look normal. He stopped at the passenger door, leaned in briefly, then closed it. Then he walked away and climbed into the dark sedan. 2 vehicles, 3 personnel. Nora had expected more. That meant either they were confident or they were stretched thin. She opened a new note on her phone and wrote quickly. CRV has witness, sedan overwatch. They will use side exit camera out. Then she did something simple. She called Lane. Lane answered immediately, voice low. You got my message. Nora's tone stayed calm. You are not coming here. I'm not, Lane said quickly. I'm in Portland. I'm staying put. Nora didn't trust fast compliance. Good. Lane exhaled. Are you safe? Yes, Nora said. You want impact. Here is impact. I need a distraction that does not involve police and does not involve you physically showing up. Silence. Then Lane said, Careful now. What kind of distraction? Nora watched the 2 vehicles again. Call your outlet's tip line as an anonymous civilian. Report a suspected drunk driver leaving the travel plaza through the side exit in a gray CRV. Say you saw them nearly hit a pump. That will cause an internal safety check. Not police, just staff. It creates movement near the side exit. Lane hesitated. You want me to lie? I want you to create noise, Nora said. You already bought a broker package to map a human being. Don't pretend your hands are clean. This is your chance to do something that protects someone, not your story. Lane's breath went shallow. If I do this, I want one thing. Nora kept her eyes on the lot. No. Lane laughed softly, but it sounded strained. You're brutal. Nora's voice stayed even. Do it or don't. I'm not negotiating with your ego. A beat. Then Lane said, I'll do it. Give me 60 seconds. Now, Nora said. Lane hung up. Nora set her phone down and watched. If Lane followed through, the store manager would step outside with a flashlight and a nervous sense of liability. Maybe they would approach the vehicle. Maybe they would simply stand near the exit, visible, changing the contractor's timing. Timing mattered. At 11:21 p.m., the store doors opened and a woman in a black polo stepped out, holding a flashlight. A teenage clerk followed behind her, clutching a phone. The woman looked toward the fuel pumps first, scanning, then started walking toward the side exit. Nora's attention sharpened. Lane had done it. The woman approached the gray CRV, stopping several feet away. She lifted the flashlight. Not aggressive, just cautious. She spoke, her mouth moving. The hooded contractor in the driver's seat turned his head and replied. The manager stepped closer, pointing toward the side exit sign, as if asking them to slow down. The driver's window slid down a few inches. The manager leaned in. That was the moment Nora needed. Nora pulled forward and angled her car toward the service road behind the lot, the one that fed into the dark edge of the facility where the chain gate sat. She drove slowly, lights on, like a person looking for a way out, without doubling back. She reached the chain gate and stopped. It was unlatching, just like Atlas Dusk said. Nora got out, moved the latch quietly, and eased the gate open enough for a sedan to pass. Then she got back in and waited, engine idling.